Hello, I'm Dale from Dale's Gig Reviews and Metalliville online magazine, and I'm joined by Bones or Thomas Hewson, the bassist and songwriter from Tailgunner.
Yep, that's all certainly me. Good to be here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. The reason why I've got this wonderful collection behind me is because you've apparently based your style and influence on the new wave of British heavy metal. So I put some of my favourite heavy metal, British heavy metal bands up: Venom, to Iron Maiden. That was my first Iron Maiden album. And of course, Saxon. That one's actually signed by two guitarists. So I thought I'd put that for bragging rights.
Very nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So what sort of music did you listen to?
What sort of music do I listen to now or growing up or
Growing up, what influenced you?
this I mean it's the same stuff really. I mean, we all grew up, really not paying much attention to anything that was particularly relevant to the mainstream of rock and metal at the time. We all love AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Rainbow, Megadeth, Halloween, Demon, Grim Reaper, Angel Witch, you know,
Yeah.
all of the ones that you can think of, and most of the ones that you can't as well. So yeah,
Yeah. So most of what I listened to growing up, like Halloween and Megadeth, I've got my AC/DC up there as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So some similar music tastes. Because I got to see you at Stone Dead Festival 2024, and
Mm.
back then you was performing your Guns for Hire album,
Mm.
which came out in 2023, and there might have been some Crash Dive songs on from your EP in 2022. I'm not sure what you sang on your set. You had
Yeah,
your band was Rhea Thompson on guitar, Craig Cairns, who's singing, Zach Salvini and Eddie Mariotti. Is that correct?
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to say you were very good, and your Crash Dive and your Guns for Hire albums are also very good. This sounds like I'm blowing smoke up your ass because you're sat here, but I got to listen to your new album, which is what we're here to talk about, Midnight Blitz. And I have to say, it is the best album I've been all across the board. The best album I've listened to since I heard Space Pistols' "Lead with Everything" album from 2024. So it's the best album I've listened to in just over a year. It's absolutely outstanding.
Oh, amazing. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you enjoy what we do.
Yeah, the sound has matured massively from your Guns for Hire, and your the guitar, the speed guitar, the drumming, the vocals are on point. War in Heaven is my favorite song. Absolutely tremendous. So, how do you think it's going?
I think this album is the step up that it needed to be, in every aspect, the songwriting, the performance, the production, the lyrics. I think everything is a step up from the debut. And we haven't compromised on who we are, what we love, our influences, but we're managing to carve our own identity as well. This album compared to the debut is, it's not just pure NWOBHM worship. It's got something else to it. And I think that's very, very important because you look back at those 80s bands and, people forget how much innovation there actually was in that period. You look at Judas Priest, for example, going from Rock and Roller to Sad Wings all the way up to Painkiller. And you don't end up with albums like that without a real desire to push forward and to innovate. And that's what we're trying to do now without compromising on who we are, and not just worship at the altar of those bands, but stand on it as well with our own identity. And I think we're really starting to achieve that with this record. So we're really happy with it.
Yeah. Well, compared to Guns for Hire, you seem to have also upped the tempo, the whole speed, the way you're playing the guitars and the drums is it just seems to like taking a bigger leap and made it
Well,
feel like heavier.
I think that was because we recorded the debut album before we'd ever played a show. It was recorded over a year before we'd ever played a show. And then when we started to play live, we realized how fast we actually played live. So we knew that everything on the debut was too slow. And I think songs can be a bit faster live than on record, but maybe Guns for Hire was a bit too slow. People
Yeah.
are insane saying that, listening to it. But, we made sure to record this record at the same speeds that we would play live. So
Yeah.
there's a more adrenaline.
I've got to say, it's one thing that stood out for me was the speed of it, and me being into like Megadeth and the heavier side of like the heavier side of Iron Maiden.
Mhm.
It really appealed to me and made me sit up and take more notice than what I had done before.
No, that's really great.
Yeah, which is obviously what you're after. You're after winning over fans and influencing and so on.
Of course.
Yeah. When I seen you at Stone Dead and you did a cracking performance and we did get to meet you. I'm sure you totally remember meeting me.
I remember meeting everyone. Yeah.
So this year you've got a couple of festivals. You've got Made of Stone and Hella Rock Festival at Coventry and Maidstone. But the big one, you've got Download Festival.
Yeah. We're really looking forward to Download.
Yeah. Is it your first download?
No, we played it last year, but to be, in our fourth year as a band and to have played Download twice is pretty insane. To be asked to go
Yeah.
back already, amazing. And the thing for us with Download is, on the one hand, obviously, we see it as Monsters of Rock and Castle Donington and all of that association and history. So it's amazing for us. But Download these days is a very mainstream rock festival. There's not a lot of heavy metal. I think we're the only heavy metal band to play next year, which is insane. But it's very important for us to fly the flag for this style in the day at these sorts of festivals, and to remind people that it's alive and you can't kill it, no matter how uncool you think it is, no matter how much people want to listen to, new metal or something, we'll always be here, and, we're like a plague you can't get rid of. So I'm very pleased to fly this, flag in the mainstream world of rock and metal, because someone has to do it for heavy metal, and there's not a new band like us doing that. So it's a really great feeling.
Yeah. There's a lot of different music out there. I mentioned Space Pistol. They're very new metal. They're a lot like System of a Down. And of course, Download this year, we've got Limp Bizkit. But we've also got Guns N' Roses, who is heavy rock. They're not heavy metal.
My favorite band, though, and we're playing the same day as them. So what a dream come true that is.
Yeah. Pity you're not like supporting them. That'd be even better.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. You can. I saw them in 2018 for the first time, and they did a fantastic set at Download. And so I'm really, really looking forward to it this year.
I went to see him in Sweden instead, because I didn't want to go to Download. I'd rather see him at their own show, and they played for 4 hours. It was insane.
Yeah, I think they did like 3.5 hours at Download, and I couldn't believe they were on so long. And he came on stage on time, despite everything I heard. I was expecting like an hour wait, but he came on stage on time, 3.5 hours.
They have been now for 10 years, but people will always make that, association with Axl. So the first couple of times I saw him was on the was on the Chinese Democracy tour, and they came on at midnight and played till about half 2, 3 a.m., which I kind of love. Like that would suit me to a T as a fan and as a musician, but unfortunately the world does not operate on those hours. So
yeah. I got to interview Bumblefoot, Ron Bumblefoot Fall, and he's such a cool guy.
yeah,
He kept on playing his double guitar and getting a kazoo out, and he was great.
yeah, what a player.
But, you had a producer on your album. I'm not sure many people would have heard of him before. KK Downing from Judas Priest and KK's Priest and KK Steel Mill, and what a legend producing your album.
Yeah, it's amazing for us. It was so great to work with KK, and the great thing is, it's the lessons we learned don't just apply to this new record. It's things that we'll take with us for the entirety of our careers, and it's come right from the mouth of a guy that was really responsible for the genesis of this style of music. So really amazing.
Were you a bit fanboyish when you met him?
No, to be honest, and I'm not just saying that to be cool. I think it was just so natural for us, and I think if I'd have met him at a signing or randomly, then I probably would have been. But he invited us to open for him, and we met him that way. So it's like, well, you've been invited, you deserve to be there. He liked the band, and so he's so down to earth and so normal and humble that it just feels very normal and humble to speak to him. And the first time I met KK, the very first thing he ever said to me was like, "God, finally someone else wearing leather," you know. So it just we're cut from the same cloth in a lot of ways, so we get on great. And there's you dissociate the guy you're in the studio with from the Judas Priest legend. You know, we're just in the studio with our friend KK, and you know, you go home and you watch an old Judas Priest thing, and you forget that that guy is that guy. You know, and he's very good at that.
Yeah. I've been to KK Steel Mill many times and still not met him yet. And he's one I'd like to actually grab for an interview as well, hopefully one day. Um, you had Olaf Wikstrand from Enforcer working on Crash Dive and Guns for Hire. Has he had any input since? Are you still
No,
like collaborating? No?
no. I love Olaf. I have a great respect for Enforcer as a band. They really were the first band to come along to play this style of music again since, you know, its heyday. So they're a great influence. But no, Olaf wasn't associated with this new record at all.
Yeah.
I spoke to him about doing some co-writes. Maybe that will happen in the future. I'd love to write some songs with him, but yeah, not right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought that was quite a cool thing that I read that he helped you out on your EP, and it's nice that other bands can help each other on that sort of thing.
Yeah, you know, I have a lot of respect for Enforcer, and they were kind of like the godfathers of this new, you know, wave of heavy metal. So it was great to have Olaf work with us on the debut. Yeah,
Yeah. Were they at Stone Dead on 2024? I can't remember.
they were at Stone Dead.
Yeah, I thought they were, and KK's Priest was as well.
KK's Priest were on the same lineup we were with Saxon and Doro. And
Yeah.
Force played it last year with Primal Fear and
Yeah, that's right. I seen him last year. Yeah. It's my age. I can't remember who I've seen.
they
Yeah.
should be a lot bigger in the UK. Unfortunately, they're not. But you know,
Yeah. So apparently you're part of the new wave of traditional heavy metal that I think you're a bit above that now. I think the sound that you're putting out, I wouldn't class it as the original sound that you put out for your EP and the last album. I would agree with that. But
mm.
this new album you've put out, I think elevated. You've elevated the whole genre, and it's still heavy metal, and you're still keeping that core sound. But I wouldn't say that you were part of the new wave of traditional heavy metal. I think you're now forging a new path.
I agree. That's so nice to hear because yeah, I really agree with every word of that. I think the first album was very much, you know, and we love NWOBHM, and it was very much, you know, from that background. Whereas with this album, this it's still pure heavy metal, like you say, but there's a desire to carry this across to, you know, not just appeal to the guys that love, you know, all of those obscure bands that I've already spoken about, but into a more mainstream audience. And you have to have a band doing that at all times for heavy metal. And this is something that the genre has suffered from in, you know, I was going to say recent years, but for many years is everyone wants to just keep it like this cool secret that no one else is allowed to be a part of. And, you know, we kind of say, fuck that. Like we want everyone to like this music. And, you know, back in the day, Saxon and Priest and Motorhead and whatever, they were all going on top of the pops. They weren't too cool to be enjoyed, you know, by the mainstream. And that's exactly what we like. And, you know, maybe we take some stick from that from some people that think that this should be purely underground. But no, I don't agree with that at all.
I think there should be another Top of the Pops. I think there should be a program like that out there because unless you start really delving into streaming platforms and really looking, you can't really find new material because the same stuff keeps on coming up. And it's not like when I was a kid, you'd go into a shop and you'd choose something based on the artwork and get very excited when you saw something as cool as this, or as demonic as that, and you bought it and then you went home and listened to it. Most of the time, you sat in front of the TV, Top of the Pops come on, and then this band came on, and you're like, "Oh wow, I've got to go and see them." And there's not really anything like that anymore.
No, it certainly makes it challenging for us, but I think it's a good challenge. That the thing with the modern world in the music industry and the internet and things has meant there are more bands than ever, but I think the cream still rises to the top. I think although there's more competition, there's maybe less quality that you end up discovering than there was in the 80s and 70s and 60s and whatever.
Yeah. So your style of bass, who would you say your influences, and who would you say you're most like?
Um, I'm a combination of my influences. I think everyone is and everyone should be. You shouldn't just sound like one person. I think that's
Yeah.
boring. um, but I'm a huge fan of Duff McKagan. He was really the guy that influenced me a lot growing up, and I play Fender basses because everyone that I love plays Fender basses. Phil Lynott is a huge influence for me.
Yeah.
Not just as a bass player, overall as a songwriter and everything, but talking about bass, he's a huge one as well for me. You have to speak about Steve Harris, of course, and
Yeah.
True, and he's a huge influence as well. And Marcus Grosskopf from Halloween, I think he's one of the greatest bass players I've ever heard. What he
Yeah.
does with those bass lines, the counter melodies, and the melodic nature of what he does within the context of speed metal tracks is absolutely stunning and mind blowing. So, yeah, Duff McKagan, Steve Harris, Marcus Grosskopf, Phil Lynott, they're probably like the big ones for me.
Yeah. I remember my posters on my wall when I was a kid, and I had Steve Harris and I had David Ellefson.
Mm.
I couldn't believe I got to interview him. I was fanboying on that one when I was talking to him.
Oh
Um,
man, I did an interview on his podcast where he was interviewing me. Imagine how that felt, That was
yeah, definitely. Yeah, because you're at this stage in your career now, and with your writing and your performing and what you're releasing, that in 20 years' time, there's going to be somebody like you sat there saying, "Oh, it was Tailgunner, it was Bones when I've seen him at such and such festival. That's who influenced me picking up a bass." And how would that make you feel hearing that?
it would be great, and we've already had things like that, since we put out the debut that have been so rewarding. Where I've seen bands form in the UK. I'm a big fan of the band Rattlesnakes. They're quite unknown, but they won't be for very long. They're phenomenal, and
Yeah,
they said to us that it was hearing Guns for Hire and seeing the success that we've had that proved to them that you can make this style of music and be from the UK in this day and age and actually get somewhere. So I really hope that that continues in that vein, and that the success that we have inspires these new bands and proves to them that you don't have to play what's popular. You don't have to listen to anyone's advice. You can just do what you love. And if that's heavy metal, then, go for it and you can still get somewhere.
yeah. Well, luckily, Stranger Things and the new 28 years later Road about whatever it's called, the new Bones film, has really brought the new wave of heavy metal back, because we've got Metallica at Stranger Things and Iron Maiden. Number of the Beats played in the new 28 years and played in such a cool way, and it's making people rediscover it, which is fantastic. And
Yeah,
hopefully, when they look at some of this stuff, they automatically find you and listen to your music, and a nice knock-on effect.
exactly. The new generation needs those heroes too. So here we
Yeah.
are.
So Rattlesnakes, I've just been listening. I've started listening to them last week, and I'm really enjoying them. They're a very good band.
Great band. The vocalist Rowena is absolutely phenomenal. I think she's one of the best new singers in the world in heavy metal. So
Yeah,
yeah, really excited for their career.
yeah, it's looking good for them. So I've got your tour dates down. The February dates: 6th here at Brighton, 7th of Feb Margate. So it's really going to be starting very soon, isn't it? To
Mm.
kick off your album release, which is on the 6th as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Um, yeah, the 8th you're at Manchester, 10th Norwich, 11th Bradford, 13th you're at Nottingham. I should really have the locations down. I've only got the actual pubs and the venues. I've only got the cities, and
Well,
14th.
Mr. Rock City, of course.
Yeah, that's right, Rock City. Because I was going to sneakily ask for a press pass for that. I think I'll have to have a word with the people I've been emailing.
Right.
Um,
If you
yeah,
need, then just let me know.
Yeah, I'd like that. I'm disabled, so it would have to be a +1. But
Okay.
I'd love to see it at Nottingham Rock City because it's a
If
great venue.
you email us directly, I can probably take care of that. Email the band.
Right. Okay. Well, stay online after, and I'll get your email. We don't want to say it's over now on this because then I'll have to do some editing and beeping out. And so that's 13th at Nottingham Rock City, 14th Glasgow, 15th Newcastle, 17th Cardiff, 18th Newquay, 19th Southampton, 20th London, and the 21st to finish it off at KK Steel Mill at Wolverhampton,
Yeah,
which
that's gonna
is a
be great.
fabulous venue. Really good venue, that is.
It's like a second home to us now.
Yeah, I bet it is. So you've got all these dates, and I assume you'll be selling merch,
Of course, of
and
course.
you'll be selling your new album on them dates.
We will from Friday onwards. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
We wanted to sell it on the road with Hammerfall and at the Planet Rock Festival we just played, but of course it's not out yet, so we had to be patient.
And what format is it going to be sold on?
There is 5 different vinyl colors to collect. There's a digipack
Wow.
CD and cassette, and of course on online as well. So
Yeah.
every possible format you can imagine. We even did like a laser pink vinyl, which is already sold out, which was my idea, and I'm very proud of the fact that we managed to sell out of this pink vinyl as a metal band. It's awesome.
I'm actually really gutted now because I've not got that. I've not pre-ordered that because I've reviewed the album. The review sadly has not been released yet because my editor, he is in America at the NAM
Oh
festival.
yeah,
So
makes sense.
he's partying all night and sleeping all day and not actually released anything I've sent him. So I think I might have to wait till he comes back for the review to come out. It is a glowing review because, like I said, it is the best album I have listened to for over a year. It's absolutely fantastic. And I advise everybody to rush out and buy it and download it and stream it, but buy it in physical copies because physical copies are the best.
Yeah.
And I assume you've got a website you can buy it on if they don't see you live.
Yeah, we've got our merch store. You can go and grab it from the Napalm Records website as well, or to be honest, anywhere that you'd normally buy an album, HMV, Amazon, wherever you want to get it. It doesn't matter to us as long as you buy it.
Yeah, and definitely buy it. It, like I say, it is really good. So at the end of my interviews, I get to ask a question that my beautiful lady Tracy, who's sat over there, you can't see her, she's watching, and she always gives me these hand signals,
Hi,
which I
Tracy.
never know what they mean. Her question is, tell us something about you or your band that we don't know, or your band members.
I'm trying to think what I can say that's not going to incriminate anyone.
Oh no, incriminate away. It's always better.
Well, I'd be the first one anyway. So I don't know. I'm really not sure what to tell you. You know, you've done well. I've been doing interviews all day. This is the first time I don't really have an answer. Um, you know, me and Rhea both used to play in punk bands. I think that might surprise people.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
I
this
like a good bit of punk, but I can't do pogoing anymore.
no. Yeah, so that attitude carries across very much to what we do in Tailgunner. Although this is a heavy metal band, I think you've seen us live and the energy and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's a big punk influence.
yeah. Right, that's brilliant. So thank you very much for your time. Stay online just a little bit longer so I can get some details off you.
Sure.
And good luck with the album. Good luck with the tour.
Thank you.
And I'll be catching up with you in Nottingham.